Hello guys, welcome to this second video where we're going to be talking a little bit about what happened on the first qualifying of the year. Also, I'm going to tell you some of my expectations for the first race of the year, the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now, let's get into it. Okay, now let's get into the important part, the grid for the first race of the 2024 Formula 1 season, the Bahrain Grand Prix. On first place, we have the Red Bull driver, Max Verstappen. Yeah, many people, including myself, we were expecting Max to take the first place for the race tomorrow. But as very few of us were thinking, the quali session was even tougher and closer than we could have expected. Because the Red Bull driver has obtained his pole position, but taking advantage of the track conditions as well as one small tow given by Lando Norris. The Red Bull driver took advantage of it and put all the pieces together. Obviously, he put a great effort on his side because we know how talented and capable he is. Talking about his teammate, the Mexican driver Sergio Perez, he wasn't that far behind. And let's remember that he's coming from a tough last part of the season where Max Verstappen put away some distance between himself and Perez. But at least, for now, the beginning, Perez isn't that far behind. And he has a good race pace usually. So probably tomorrow he can fight to obtain bigger points than just 5th place. For now, Perez has to get himself comfortable or not in that 5th position of the grid, surrounded by the other two Spanish speakers, Carlos Sainz and Alonso, but we will talk about them in a moment. On second place, we have Charles Leclerc, also another well-known driver that is usually there fighting for pole positions. Indeed, he was the one who stole some of them last year from Red Bull. Leclerc seemed to be a little bit faster in one lap pace, notwithstanding the track conditions and the strategy that Ferrari followed throughout Qualy wasn't ideal for him. He admitted that after the session was over in some interviews. His teammate, the Spanish driver Carlos Sainz, obtained 4th place. Yeah, Carlos Sainz isn't the best qualifier ever, but still he obtained a good place to start tomorrow's race. And similar to Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz's pace tends always to be there and extract the maximum potential out of his car. And I have no doubt that he's gonna continue doing so. And let's not forget that he's in a year where he has not seat secured yet. Indeed, he hasn't a seat for next year yet. That is why I am sure he's going to show all of what he can do. And let's see which different opportunities appear for him. But so far on the race, I think Ferrari drivers are gonna give a good fight for the podium positions. Now, let's get into 3rd place. And in 3rd place, we have the British driver from Mercedes, George Russell. The young British driver hasn't given us the best of his qualifying sessions, but still, he managed to obtain the 3rd spot on the grid for tomorrow's race. The British driver was very consistent throughout the 3 qualifying sessions, and at the end, he has achieved 3rd place. On the other hand, his teammate Lewis Hamilton only managed to be 9 on the grid. The other British driver was not comfortable at all with his car performance throughout the session, and it seemed a little bit quite low to the ground during it. Probably they might make some changes on his setting, but if he does that along Mercedes, they will have to start the race from the pit lane. So probably they will be thinking if it is worth it or not. But So far, Mercedes has demonstrated that they really were there and they were not showing all their potential during preseason and not even free practices. And let's keep in mind that Mercedes was leading the second practice of the race, and the race is also at night, so we might expect a good performance from them. And probably Hamilton can pass from 9th place, the position he obtained in this first qualifying, to a better spot where he can achieve more points. On 6th position, we have the Aston Martin driver, and for me, their leader, Fernando Alonso. Once again, the Spanish driver has shown us that the age is just a number, that his talent is still and continues there as long as he wishes. So far, it seems like that. He has obtained 6th position for tomorrow's race, and they took a weird strategy, or at least for the first race. They decided to go between the first and second attempt of the rest of the drivers that achieved to pass to Q3 during the session. So he didn't have to worry about any kind of incident or yellow flags that could slow him down. By the way, he also saved a set of soft tire that he might be thinking to use during the race and have a little bit of an advantage for the beginning or for the moment they consider the best. Talking about his teammate Lance Stroll, the Canadian driver suffered from the close battle we have right now qualifying. He was out of Q3 and he could just advance until Q2 and obtain 12th place. But the differences from going to Q1 to Q2 and Q3, they are really small this year, and very small aspects can make the difference. So I don't think it's the worst position for Lance Stroll, but let's see if he's capable to recover from that and access to the points positions on the race. Now, on 7th and 8th position, we have both McLaren drivers, Lando Norris in 7th, Oscar Piastri in 8th. Lando Norris has mentioned in his interview that he did make some mistakes on his last attempt of qualifying that probably cost him 2 or 3 tenths, but today, 2 or 3 tenths could have placed him in second spot. Also, Lando Norris was on the top positions during Quali 1, Q2, and Q3, until his last attempt, where he made that mistake that cost some places. Talking about Oscar, the Australian driver, didn't seem comfortable at all and taking out all the potential that the McLaren can offer to him. So maybe in the race he can feel a little bit more secure and confident and go for it. And why not finish ahead of Lando? Now, probably the biggest surprise of the day, on 10th position, the German driver, Nico Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg has been performing really good at qualifying sessions since last season, and today he has done it once again. He has put that Haas into 10th place, which is already a magnificent effort and result for his team. Let's just expect that has solved it out their tire degradation problem, because if they haven't, all of that effort is gonna be put into the trash once again. And I really think Hulkenberg deserves a little bit better. I don't consider they have the pace to fight not even for 9th spot. But if they don't have so much degradation and they made the right calls in the right moments, I do believe they can obtain at least 1 point from 10th place. Kevin Magnussen, his teammate, could have just achieved 15th place on the grid, which seems more suitable and expected for the Haas team. Kevin wasn't bad at all. I mean, managed to place his car already in Q2. I think it's a good advancement from what most of us were expecting. That was 20 and 19 on the grid. Now, getting into the second part of the grid, we have to start with the Japanese Visa Cash App RV driver, Yuki Tsunoda. He has shown us that he continues to be fast in one lap, and he has already managed to finish ahead of his new teammate, Daniel Ricciardo. Remember that both of them are gonna be fighting fiercely for continue having the chance to stay at Formula One at least another season. And who knows, maybe they can continue in a better team or in a different way. But so far, Yuki was really close to advance and put his RV into Q3. He was just out of it by 7 milliseconds because, as I said, today's margins in qualifying they have been really close. But anyway, 11th place seems quite decent for last year AlphaTauri. Daniel Ricciardo also made a good performance, taking into account his last seasons, and he is going to start 14th place. I do believe that similar to other drivers, Ricciardo's strength is at race pace, so we never know. He might surprise us during it tomorrow. Another driver that continues to be outperforming his car is Alexander Albon. The Thai driver has put his Williams into 13th position, managed to get out of Q1 once again. Albon continues to show off all of his amazing skills, even when the car is not there. He has finished once again ahead of his teammate Logan Sargent, who could only achieve 18th place for tomorrow's race. Even though the 5 place difference among these two, Logan has closed the gap, but still a little bit far from Alexander. I don't think they have the race pace to fight for some points tomorrow, but we never know. Remember, Williams, it's well known for their crazy strategies, at least with Albon. And why not? Having a surprise in the first race. Because they know it is quite important every point they can achieve. Because so far, the top part of the grid seems to be very competitive and a little bit far ahead of the second part. By now, I just gotta congratulate Albon on his performance and hope Logan can continue to close the gap that he has already started to do. Now, on 16th and 17th place, we have Sauber drivers Valtteri Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou. I gotta admit that I am a little bit disappointed with the performance both Sauber drivers had today at qualifying. I didn't expect them to be into Q3 and fighting for pole position, but I was really expecting that they could advance at least until Q2. Once again, the margins to advance from Q1 to Q2 they have been small, and yes, I know I am being repetitive, but today's qualifying was amazing in that regard. Notwithstanding, the efforts from Valtteri and Guan Yu, they were not enough to put their cars into Q2. So they gotta fight back tomorrow on the race, and let's hope they can have a better pace. But so far they are going to start 16 and 17 correspondingly. And now, the only drivers to mention are both Alpine drivers. I have to say, I am a little bit disappointed and quite sad for Alpine's performance. Let's not forget, it is one of the 4 constructors we have on the current grid, together with Ferrari, Mercedes, and Honda, even though they don't call their motors like that, their engines. And 4 is gonna take place soon. But so far, Alpine is there, and neither Esteban Ocon nor Pierre Gasly, with their amazing skills, were capable to go farther ahead than 19 and 20. Yeah, I was expecting Alpine to fight for the last positions, but not that far back and not farther behind Haas. They really seem to be one step back with the rest of the teams. And I think they got well, not I think, I am sure they had a lot of work to do to improve those positions. So far, it seems like Ocon and Gasly are going to be fighting each other for not be the last driver on tomorrow's race. Just let's hope they don't get so fierce among themselves, because it is well known that they are not the best friends, not as teammates neither in the past. So let's hope they can work together to help Alpine as much as they can. But so far, they are the only two drivers I don't think that are going to be capable to be fighting for the points. The other 18 drivers, I think that anything can happen. Safety cars, red flags, sort of incident, as Charles Leclerc would have said, at the beginning of the race or on the last laps, something with the pit stops, the incorrect strategy. You know, in Formula One, a lot of stuff can happen at any moment. But even with all of that stuff, I don't see none of Alpine drivers having the chance to fight, not even for 1 point. And well, that's it. But before finishing this short video, let's make my podium prediction. And for surprise of many, I will place Max Verstappen at first place. Yes, I know Leclerc is an aggressive starter, but I don't think that is going to be enough to be ahead of Max. And considering Red Bull's pace, I do believe he is going to be far away and escape. For second step on the podium, I gotta go for Sergio Perez. Yeah, he has to pass some drivers, Sainz, Russell, Leclerc. None of them seems to be easy. And even that he was a little bit more uncomfortable than the three of them on today's quali, I do believe the Red Bull pace is quite stronger than Ferrari and Mercedes. So, if Sergio has a decent race, I think he is quite capable to achieve second place. And why not? Giving a fight for the win. Now, on the last step of the podium, I have to go for Charles Leclerc. I think he was the one feeling a little bit more comfortable with his car, and Ferrari's strategy took him away from pole. But still, I believe it's gonna be a really, really close battle among Charles, Russell, and Carlos Sainz, which fight might be decided for the strategy each of their teams decide to follow. Let's just hope Ferrari don't mess up by themselves, and we can have a close battle between them. So far, those are my thoughts on the quali of the Bahrain 2024 Formula One Grand Prix, and some of my expectations for the first race of the season. So far, see you Sunday, and remember, it's lights out.